soul-bearing fervor stands out. It's uncomfortable to watch an actress being serious when everyone else in front of or behind the camera seems to be in on some larger joke. I've always thought that it's the contrast between Berkeley's seriousness and Verhoeven's mischievousness that gives Showgirls some of its strange power. And considering that the film's subject is a business where women allow their images to be manipulated by men, I've always found Berkeley's performance moving rather than merely ridiculous. This is not to say that I confuse the actress with her character. I'm not envisioning an Elizabeth Berkley is Nomi Malone billboard on the roadside of my mind's eye. But if, as both Verhoeven and Joe Esterhaas insist, their film was meant as a critique rather than a celebration of commodified female exploitation, then the fact that Berkeley's career was all but destroyed in the aftermath seems to vindicate them even as it brings them to the edge of villainy. Surely this point could have been made with less collateral damage. Because It Doesn't Suck was published in 2014, it did not include an account of the June 2015 screening of Showgirls held in a cemetery in Los Angeles as part of Cinespia's Hollywood Forever series, an event that attracted some 4,000 people, including Berkeley herself. Speaking to the assembled crowd and receiving a hero's welcome as she took the stage, Berkeley took the occasion to make peace publicly with Nomi's legacy. An unexpected development, considering her past reluctance to go on the record about Showgirls. I had the most extraordinary experience making the film, she began, which is why when it came out, it was more painful than anything you can imagine. From there, she shifted into affirmational mode. Whether this film has been your guilty pleasure, she said, whether you have played pin the pasties on the showgirl, or whether Nomi's own plight and her fight and struggle has become your own anthem in your life, I hope that it's brought you comfort. I hope that it's brought you joy. I hope that you have made incredible memories with your friends watching it cozy on your couch. Berkeley seemed to be speaking from the heart, and her participation the next year in a Saved by the Bell reunion skit on Jimmy Kimmel's talk show, which alluded to the film in a throwaway line of dialogue about Jesse Spano becoming a stripper, hinted at skeletons exhumed from a walk-in closet. But hearing Nomi Malone herself waxing nostalgic and even affectionate about Showgirls signified something beyond her real-life alter ego's catharsis. It seemed to be the last word on the film's reclamation. Read Berkeley's remarks carefully as they must have been prepared, though her delivery made it sound like she was speaking from the heart, and they betray an awareness of all the different ways the movie has been redeemed, not just as guilty pleasure, but also as a home video hit, a communal viewing experience, and maybe even as a work of surprising emotional and thematic dimension. We don't live in the past, she added. 1995 was such a different time, where taking risks like that was not embraced. They were laughed at. Here, Berkeley could be writing her own preface to my book, which is intended as much as a reckoning with how time and the cultural shifts that go with it can alter our perspective on artworks as some fan-ish, close reading of a movie whose charms don't lie between the lines, but rather in the exclamation points at the ends of them. I say more about this in the pages to follow, but if there's a funnier delivery in film history than Robert Davi's Al Torres congratulating Nomi on her upward mobility by saying wistfully, "It must be strange not having people come on you," I haven't come across it. One of the recurring questions that I was asked while doing press for It Doesn't Suck was whether or not I thought that praising Showgirls was part of a larger cultural trend of elevating trash, and if I was being opportunistic rather than rigorous. I usually answered by saying that it was, and I was, with the caveat that, in this case, it took the passing of 2 decades for the movie to become, if not fully respectable or reputable, then at least arguably so. This is a very different circumstance from the present moment of social media.